All right, so we're here today to talk about getting prepared for extreme heat. This is something I'm incredibly concerned about because I'm not seeing any of the action that aligns to the thinking of what needs to happen. I know Singapore is going to release some government guidelines for the country for people to get prepared, but really across the global south, where my biggest concern lies as we head towards this El Nino ramping up in power, from next February onwards, we're going to be potentially seeing heat that we've never seen before. And the majority of infrastructure in this region, right across the global south, is not prepared for extreme heat. I shared a picture the other day of a new workers sort of building being built, and it's just basically metal, and that's just an oven if the temperature gets really high. So we've got a lot to do. We've got a lot to get prepared for, and we've got to think about it. But let's just start off, just with an overview of where we are with extreme heat. So Bhavani's in Malaysia and I'm in Thailand. In April, we experienced wet bulb temperatures for the first time. And that means when the heat index moves into unlivable territory. This heat hit Malaysia, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and the Philippines for the very first time, and many deaths were reported. All countries in the global south, as I said, are not ready for these heat extremes, and seeing what has happened in the northern hemisphere this past summer, it means we need to get ready for the next round of heat, which is going to be worse than what we've already experienced this year. We've also got to understand that all indications are pointing towards much more extreme heat over the coming months, especially as El Nino gets stronger and starts to do its job. Beyond Asia, so just this week, Brazil is experiencing 45 degrees Celsius. This is on their last day of winter, and it's the highest temperature ever recorded in the country, not just for winter, but for the entire year. Australia is sort of moving into overdrive, so they saw record heat in September this week, with temperatures in New South Wales 10 to 15 degrees Celsius above normal for that time of year. Now, if those averages happen over the summer months, we could be looking at 50 degrees Celsius and higher. The fire season started in August, when it typically starts in October, and there's a lot of fires happening now in September, with just this week 20 schools closed due to fire danger. Australia will be dealing with fire and extreme heat this season. So one of the things that I'm most scared of is that we're going to see an absolute catastrophe. Now, for Australia, they could get lucky this season, but that impact will definitely happen the following summer season. So please, if you're in Australia, watch the live stream from 2 weeks ago that I did with Graham Tom, who is a firefighter of 41 years experience. He's a lovely man, and he took me through Australia's fire readiness for a hotter world. So the northern hemisphere summer has been horrific. 42 million acres have burned in Canada so far, and the heat in Phoenix, Arizona was 110 degrees Fahrenheit or 43.3 degrees Celsius for 55 days. And that's another record. The burn units were full of people who had just basically fallen onto the hot surfaces, and temperatures on those surfaces were 180 degrees Fahrenheit. We saw heat extremes across Europe, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Southern Asia, Africa, China, the Middle East, and we still have no idea what the number of deaths are that are linked to heat. And it's something we might never know because it can often be attributed to things like heart attacks or strokes. More widely, we're going into the Antarctic summer, and it has seen a 1.5 million square kilometre loss of sea ice over the winter months, which means more ice loss will happen over the summer. And that means more heat will be absorbed into the oceans, and we already know that ocean heat is off the scale. So there's, some possibilities here that we might get lucky that could turn this around. A sizable volcanic eruption could send enough sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere, combining with water to form sulfuric acid aerosols. These aerosols reflect incoming solar radiation, causing cooling of the Earth's surface. So that would be a relief and maybe give us some time to act. Another thing is the smoke from the fires can also change weather patterns. As Australia's last major bushfire did, it pushed the world into a La Nina. So there's lots of different possibilities in the mix. But for Australia and New Zealand in the summer, and then the global south from February onwards, when the hot season starts, we've got to get ready, and we're not ready. I've written 2 blogs about this. I've done a podcast. I've done some sort of shorter graphics. I'm very concerned that we're not paying attention to this risk. So that's what I thought. I'd do a live stream, and I'm grateful to Bhavani for joining us. But Bhavani, from Malaysia, what's your experience been? You know, you've gone through the wet bulb temperatures too. What's it been like for you?
I'm going to come back to the human factor. So I think there was a lot of fainting because of the weather. I believe there were also death because of dehydration. And my major concern is also the people who are working under the sun. We sort of have privilege to be within 4 closed walls with air condition, multiple supply of waters. But my concern always is, are employers looking into the welfare of people who are out in the field, the policemen, the traffic police, the people who are doing cleaning, construction, fishing, agriculture? Are they sufficiently prepared to be out in the heat?
Yeah.
So that's bothering me a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I saw one of the police boxes just near one of the major sort of roads in Phuket, and it's got a little police box with an air conditioning unit in it. So I hope that that's sort of happening at scale. So we've got Brigadier Sushil here, which is great. Great to have you. And they've come to a writer's block. So we're going to get stuck in. We've got nearly 50 tips. So we're going to just go as quickly as we can through it all. It's also written. It's on a podcast, and I'm going to put this up on the podcast. So I'm just doing whatever I can. We had Nisha Singh has translated it into Hindi. So if you are from a Hindi-speaking culture, please share it with your community. We're going to have it in Malay soon, and I'm hoping to get it in Thai as well. So just trying to get the word out. Uncommon courage.